I'll try to hit these points really quickly. So I'm trying to get back involved with Neothink. I So what is Neothink? Um, I grew up with a lot of the ideas that are in Neothink. I grew up in a spiritual environment, and I was exposed to the idea of God, man. Through my whole life, and I like what Neothink does in terms of helping people take control of their lives. The mini day system is basically applying high powered corporate project management concepts to your personal life to help you think like a corporation. So a lot of these ideas, are not necessarily original, but what makes Neothink special is the integration, putting it all together to help you become a better person. So I think what I would like to see is taking these to the next level and raising the bar. So, let me just give a brief example. In the meetings that they have, weekly meetings, I'd like to see deeper level thinking. For example, one of the things we've talked about is biological immortality and cloning. Basically, if you have a copy of someone's genome, can you clone them and have biological immortality? Well, for those of you who have studied cell biology and healthcare, you know that it's not the genome itself that matters. It's the control of the genome. It's the expression of the genome. And you can give two people the same genome, but it's the environment, it's the behavior that expresses the genome. So I'd like to see people take a more analytical, deeper view of some of these topics and bring Neothink to greater heights. Let me just throw something out here. You guys talk about being, the God-man mentality. Over the last week, how many people here have meditated on a regular basis? Have practiced mindfulness meditation? Have anyone been doing that regularly? If not, then then we all need to up our game. So so just in a nutshell, I'd like to get back more involved and I'm going to be talking to Josh and Mark offline about some of my ideas. I'm interested in setting up a clubhouse here in Silicon Valley. I'm involved in some other like-minded initiatives and nonprofits here in Silicon Valley, and I have access to some conference rooms and meeting spaces. So that's something that I'll be pursuing offline. On a personal level, being in Silicon Valley, I was part of a group of people growing up here who had the privilege of going to the best schools and have been very successful. Unfortunately, in my life, I've gone through some trauma, and I've been trying to take control back of my life, and that's where Neothink has really helped me, because even though I was doing all the things that Neothink has talked about in terms of trying to manage my time, with scheduling and using mini day systems, seeing it in the literature reinforces that I'm not alone, and that I need to not give up, and that I'm getting close. So that's something very personal. In my meditation, I've come across some special insights, and I didn't want to share it because it's personal, but Mark Hamilton sent me some letters verifying that I'm on the right track, and that meant a lot to me. So anyway, so I think Neothink, it's trying to train. Everyone here has the ability to be successful and to be a superstar. Whether that means you're going to be a multimillionaire or billionaire, or whether you're or whether you're going to reach new spiritual heights. All of these things are goals that Neothink strives for. And out of 200 people here, we may not all make it to becoming billionaires. Maybe a few of you may make it, but all of us can benefit from striving for the best, and at least lead happier, more successful lives. So very few of us may go all the way to being billionaires, or going all the way to being another Jesus Christ, in the God-Man initiative. But the rest of us will still benefit. We strive for the highest, and we'll all benefit, even if we don't. Not everyone gets an Olympic gold medal, but everyone can benefit from going in that direction.